What's up, my familia? It's your boy, the Hitman and the Zombie Show. I am the Clicker Zombie. And also give it up.
He put cards on his zombies, and when it goes really fast, you hear it clicking. So you know how fast he's going to catch up to you.
He's like, click, 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 click.
Ah, shit!
Give it for your boy, the Hitman.
Woo! What up?
What are we doing this beautiful evening?
We talking about how there's only
we are the last of us.
A few of us left. The Last of Us.
The Last of Us.
That's
right, guys.
Overrated game in the world is on the most sellout network in America. All right.
Bum, bum, bum.
No, I don't know about the most overrated. It got a lot of love with good reason, and because of that, it has a huge following. So, like, whenever you hear that they're gonna take on some project like this, it's like, oh man, like, how are they gonna do it? So that's what we're gonna get into.
And it's so cool, like seeing Peter Pasquale getting more roles. Pedro, my bad, Peter. I have Peter because talking about Family Guy. I apologize.
Lois, what's with all these mushroom zombies?
Yeah. And it's also
you bastard.
And it's funny how there's like slightly comparison between Joel and Ellie compared to Mando and Grogu.
Yeah, right.
So once you see it, it's hard to unsee it. So yeah, guys, we're gonna do a quick recap of episode 1. I know we moved on to episode 2.
Well, yeah.
So or 3 next week. But yeah, guys, Hitman, what's your first impressions of the cool opening scene of The Last of Us?
I'm not gonna. Of course, later you see all the comparisons and stuff, and it's like, wow, like they really nailed it. Yeah, I didn't remember that. Like, it's from like 2013, but I did remember it being pretty cool, and I liked what they did with the intro, and it really was. It's pretty much like shot by shot the same dang thing.
Yeah,
it looked good. It was nice.
I also feel the same way, like it brings you in, like gives you a whole narrative of how it started and how it spreads. How is it going? So let's just get back into this. Episode 1 starts off with the doctors are just they're in a talk show, and then the host is trying to be funny, and then the scientist is not having none of it. They're talking about fungi and about a fungi that if it needs to evolve, it would evolve, and what would happen if it did, and is there a cure or medicine for it? And they say we have not developed nothing like that.
Yeah.
So foreshadowing.
And then the doctor says, "I'm tired of pretending it's not," and then he shoots him.
Why so serious? Yeah, so we flash forward, that was 1960, and now we're in 2003. 2003. Where was I in 2003? I was still in high school. I was 11th grader. How about you?
I also was. I skipped the 10th. I was in Tennessee.
You're in Tennessee?
Yeah. And I think so the game, this is our first like big breakaway from the game, is that the game took place in 2013. And the only reason that matters is because of course there's like some things that the world kept going normally up until 2013, but there aren't a whole lot of references aside from a couple songs and things that probably won't transition into the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, like 2003, everything went to Schittsburg in the show, but 2013 in the game.
And then we meet the family of the daughter Sarah, the father Joel, and his best friend Tommy Oliver, aka the Green Ranger.
I thought that was his brother, Tommy.
Ah, no, it's his friend.
So when Joel wakes up, we hear they're talking about how there's some mishap at the flower factory, right?
Yeah.
Did you notice that? The whole theme throughout the show? Like all the flour. I'll mention it like as we like get near each incident. But it's like how many times they came so close to being turned themselves.
Oh yeah. I see what you mean.
Well, all right, in fact, like even as he wakes up and then it's like happy birthday. Oh no, wait, that's the next day though. Because in the beginning it's not his birthday yet.
Well, yeah, but she wakes up and she's like, oh no, they wanted to do birthday pancakes, and that's why the reason Tommy rolls up is like, hey, no birthday pancakes. He's like, no, man.
I hate pancakes. It's not for you.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, see, so there was gonna be flour right there in the first scene ever, or one of the first scenes.
But it would be cooked, right?
Flour. Yeah. See, but it still would be flour. And then they go outside, and then what? The neighbor, they come over.
Well, there was like, yeah. And like before they step out, they hear breaking news. We go live to the problem in Jakarta, the capital of Indonesia.
That's where it was.
And they're like, "Where's that at?" It's like, "Oh, it's like in Asia somewhere."
Yeah.
And it's like, "No, it's the capital of Indonesia." It's like, "Oh, okay." Yeah. And then like you were saying that, and then after that, we go outside. We meet the neighbors, the alders.
The aldermans.
The aldermans.
So yeah, come over, have some biscuits, or maybe later. See, they dodge a biscuit.
And there's another. That's where it started.
Yeah, because he's feeding Gran the biscuit, and we know how that turned out.
And then after that, we see. Like she goes to go to fix Joel's watch, and then after that the lady comes like, no, we're closed, we're done. And the guy's like, what are you talking about? We closed at 7. It's barely 3:30. I don't know what's going on, but you gotta go home. And you see the cops and hearing all these emergency vehicles going somewhere. So yeah,
day in LA.
Another day in LA.
Yeah, it's nice that they fleshed out this character because like, how many of us were like, stop! I don't want to follow Sarah. Like, I don't know what you're doing here.
And then we see Sarah like actually going home, and then the dad comes and like, oh, you were late, and they're like, yeah, let's watch a movie, because she went over to the neighbors, got the movie, but when she was selecting a movie, like you see the grandpa in the background just like.
Yeah,
teach him how to twitch.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was like this. I was like, oh.
Okay, but then what happened when she was looking at the movie?
So they were watching a movie and then they fell asleep.
When she was picking out the movie, she was offered cookies because she likes grabbing cookies when she goes over after school.
That's
she said no because they were oatmeal raisin.
That's nasty.
And then she gets over, and then Joel comes home, and she's like, "Where's the birthday cake? I forgot it. More flour."
It's connecting the dots. Save another bullet.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tommy calls like, "Hey dog, like what happened? Like, can you come meet me out of jail?" It's like, what happened? Like I was getting in a fight with this guy who started to turn to a maniac. So I was like, "Oh, okay." So Sarah gets put in her bed and she's like, oh, damn it, Tommy. So he gets Tommy. And all of a sudden, you see Sarah waking up to this ground, like explosions. Like you see green flashing and all this. I'm like, what's going on? And then she gets up. She's like,
I've seen that before. That's the aliens, dog. No, no, like when power lines are down and stuff, you legit see those flashes, and it's like that weird green.
Is it?
Yeah. Nah, it's wild, man. Like, sometimes we get those El Ninos, those SoundCloud rappers, and they come in and they blow everything all crazy. and sometimes we get some crazy down power line and those crazy windy nights. And you look outside, you see it's like it looks like that.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
I could just imagine. It looks like a little fireworks display, right? But
yeah, it is wild.
so as she's walking out, she's trying to turn on the TV to see what's going on, and you hear the typical sound.
The snow channel.
The snow channel. The annual purge has commenced. So all of a sudden you hear this dump, and there's a dog. You know, it's like, "What are you doing here? Let me take you back to your neighbor." So as soon as she walks in, she's like, "Hello, hello."
It's like no.
She's like, "I ain't going back in there. Like, I'm out of here." And then she stepped in. She looked. She's like, "What the hell?" She steps in blood, and she goes, "Help me, Mr. Elder." And then she looked. Who do we see? It's like a recreation of the Resident Evil 1 game.
Yeah.
When she's eating them, and you see like little spurs coming out. Is it like those tentacles from a lobster type of thing?
That's like, I know I'm pretty sure I mentioned this like every zombie thing we watch. Like, the cool thing about watching zombie shit is you gotta like feel out like what flavor zombie you get. And then like this one is like a new one. It's a whole different genre with
different
the like
type of zombie.
With the mushies. And then they have like little so they're pretty much like little robots like being controlled, which is really how it would go down. So it's pretty cool to see the cordyceps like creeping out of their faces. And it leaves, well, I mean, we all know how they all end up turning. There's not like crazy mutations or anything, but it does leave the door open to that.
It's true. The biohazard weapon.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, you see she gets up, and then he starts running out the door like, "Help me!" The dad shows up, Joel, and he goes, hits him with a big ass wrench. And the next door neighbor's like, "What's going on, Joel?" And Joel goes all apeshit. "Get inside your house, lock the door, don't do nothing." So everybody's getting in, even us. We get inside the pickup truck, and then she's like, "What are you doing?" And then they're backing up. And then what's it called? The grandpa gets up again, right? It looks like she gets up in the background, the foreground.
Yeah.
So after that, we're what we're doing? We're driving. We're driving like trying to get out of it. And everybody has the same idea. And then we see the army is holding the barricades. Like, "Oh, go through the field. We'll cut them out in the city." It's like, all right. So they're going, and they're backing up, and you see airplane like. You're like, "What is that?" It's an airplane. And then after the airplane passes, you're like, go back up, Tommy. He's like, "I can't. There's a lot of people." And they turn around, and you see the plane. Like, holy shit! You see the plane just go.
Yeah.
Pieces of it is flying everywhere. Chaotic. Apocalypse is happening.
You can't do that apocalypse off-roading in your Toyota Camrys.
Oh, so that thing explodes, you know, somebody gets hit with it. It looked like she got hit, right? With a piece of it.
Yeah.
So she flipped over, like, and they wake up upside down, like, "Hey, are you okay?" And then she's looking, you see, infecting, eating each other, like, all up in there. It's just Sarah, "Don't look." So Tommy's on the other side of the truck, and then Sarah and Joel is on the other side. They're like, "All right, stay there. I'm gonna go to you." And all of a sudden, this cop just rams them from behind and blows up.
Yeah.
She goes, "Go all the way around. We'll meet at the river." They're like, "All right, we meet at the river." So we're at PV right now. She's trying to go through shops, and then all of a sudden, you see one of the clickers, or not clickers yet, but one person possessed. You hear that? She goes, "But dude." You could see it's a different, because they're going through anything just to get to the prey. They're like bumping into the whole tree, just throwing their bodies into it instead of being mindful of things. It's just going through the whole dinner rack, the doors swing open. It's just going crazy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're being chased. Like, "Oh my god, don't look at it." Like, Sarah's holding Sarah like right here. She's like, don't look," and you can feel the thing is getting closer and closer. And then he eventually trips. The zombie trips behind him, because they go through a kitchen, right?
Yeah.
So they go through a kitchen. And then the zombies relentless. All of a sudden, you hear like two gunshots. The zombie falls, and then there's the army guys like, wait, we're not infected. We need help. And then the guy is like, all right, he radios us in. He's like, all right, don't move. He's like, sir, but they're not hurt. Like, they're not infected. He's like, okay. So I guess they were giving him the no survivor call.
Yeah. Do the pew-pews.
Do the pew-pew, cleanse the city. So, this guy's like, hey, we're not hurt. And the fool opens fire like, tuk. You hit him twice, so they run. Joe's holding Sarah. He get hit, he falls, he drops Sarah. And then he's about to get killed. And who do we see? We see Tommy, the rescue.
The Tommy gun.
So he takes him out, and then... Did he cry? Did you shed a tear for this moment?
Yeah. I saw it coming, and it still hit.
I didn't know. I was like, I was so invested in her. Like, she was so cool and everything.
Did you not play the first one?
Like you said, it's been a while.
How did that not stay with you?
It's been a long while. And then...
No, I definitely knew. And that's exactly how it went down in the game.
Oh, did it? Oh, now I gotta go replay it again.
Good hit.
So... the camera zooms in, like Joel's checking himself, okay, I'm good. And then Sarah, he looks at Sarah, and then she's like,
so that's the first time we learned that Joel is good at using a shield.
I know, right? I thought he was gonna turn or something, but no, she's like, he has it like point blank.
Shield.
She's like, here, shoot.
Can't get me.
Shoot this. He was wearing the plot armor. And then she falls, and then we see her, and then she has like her gut. She's like, oh no. She's like, put pressure on her. I was like, I'm like, in my head, I was like, she can't die, man. Come on. And then she tried to move her, and then she can't move. I was like, and then I was telling, help him, Tommy, help him. Tommy's like, dude, Joe, it's a wrap, dude. He's like, no, it can't move. And then he looked down, and thank you, Sarah.
Yeah.
Sarah. What do you say that name? Sarah. So Sarah passes away, and I think that's the moment where Joe gets broken, I think.
Yeah. That's the point.
And then after that, like, it flashed forwards, 20 years, it says? 20 years later?
Yeah.
But man, when I saw that, me and my wife were like, we're in shock, like, no, we just got it to know these people. Why?
Yeah, I watched it with an uninitiated too, but the whole time I was just like, I know it's coming. Nope. There it is. Look, and then, oh no, we don't see him yet. Joel, Joel. We see the kid.
Yeah,
We
see the kid just rolling by. Gets her lips all pale. I mean, like chapped, and they're like, all right, where are you? So they let her in, and then they set her down, and he goes to check, and it was like, the way he did it, he's like, and like he knew, it was like, I'm sorry, like she didn't even tell her, like, oh yeah, we have this injection for you that will make you feel better, and nothing was gonna happen.
Well, it's true.
She's like, really?
Like, okay, but you knew, like, even they foreshadowed it with the talk show. The dude's like, there's no cure. So you knew that they weren't curing her. They're not like, here's some Tylenol. Like,
but that's the thing. Like, it's 20 years, you would have think. But yeah, you're right. You're like,
20 years of them being in disarray.
Yeah. It's and then she injects a kid, and I'm like, well, what's going on? And then all of a sudden we fast forward. We see Mando and a woman by his side, and then like the truckload of people are rolling through. We're like, so like, oh, and then the girl next to him is like, I'm sorry, I can't do this. And so she freaking picks her up, like, while we carry her, we see her, she's wearing the same Nikes. We're like, oh, to kill that girl.
No, but Joel saw her as Sarah for a second.
And
then he's just like, all right, because he knows her. Like, he's so jaded. He's just like, whatever, man.
Once they die, they cannot be reanimated, right? They're not like actual zombies.
They're mushrooms.
Not to take a while after that. So in the long distance, Joe makes eye contact with this soldier, and he's like,
Hey, what's up, B?
He's like, hey, dog. Like, all right. So they go around the corner. He's like, you got the stuff.
Yeah.
So you see Joel slanging. He's like, the paper money. He's like, hey, you're short. He's like, oh, come on, man. I need it, man. He's like, and then he cuts it a little bit. He's like, he tries it on. He's like,
No.
he's like, is it good stuff? He's like, yeah, how old? Like a month old. He's like, okay. He's like, what else you guys like?
It's laundry detergent. Like, dude, I haven't done laundry in like 6 months.
Oh shit. So he rolls it up and he's like, here, I got these 6. So he's like, all right, here. He gives him the pills. He's like, hey, you wanna come in tonight? Like, you don't want to be out because we have a infestation of fireflies?
Yeah.
They say they're planning something. So I'm like, all right, cool. Like, the fireflies are. So the fireflies are at war with Federalis probably.
Yeah. The resistance.
The resistance. So what the Mando is like, he's trying to get a battery to get a car to get out of there.
To go get Tommy.
Get Tommy. It looked like Tommy joined the Fireflies for a bit, didn't he? That's what he sends. It was revealed later on.
I don't remember that, but he used to roll with Tess.
Yeah.
And
Used to be buddies.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did, right? Because he was like one of his connects inside.
That's what he told him. Is like, hey, like it was your reason why he fucking left. Damn you, Tess. I mean, Marlene. So we see then after we see Ellie tied to a radiator.
Yeah.
Is it a radiator or a steam thing? I forget what it's called. So she's shackled.
Yeah, it's a Steam Deck.
There you go.
Like, this thing's heavy.
So Marlene walks in. Marlene is the leader of the Fireflies. And then it's revealed that Ellie the elephant, is infected. She turns into an elephant. Animorphs. Remember Animorphs?
Yeah.
And then one of them got stuck as an animal. He couldn't switch back or whatnot. The whole plot behind that.
Relatable.
That was a good show.
One of them was a freaking mantis shrimp. I remember that.
Yeah.
That was where my obsession with mantis shrimps began.
Mantis shrimp.
Oh, they're badass. All right, anyway.
So yeah, so they're so the plan is for the Fireflies to get Ellie out of the city without them knowing, because they think like she's the cure for the infected. So they're setting up all that good stuff, and that's when we see the guy who was trying to sell Joel and Tessa a battery. He jacked her battery back, and then they went to go look for him, and then that's when we see Marlene gets in a shootout with them. So Marlene is like, Joel, Marlene, what's the other homegirl? Homegirl. And that's just like, hey, can you help us get Ellie out of the city? It's like, we have everything. We're like, we just need you to get her to the other outposts of the Fireflies, and they're gonna fly her west. And it's like, you're out of the question. Like, I'm not gonna do it. Like, dude. And then Tess is like, hold on. It's like, this is our one chance to get out of here. You know, like they have fully federal confiscated stuff, like tanks. I mean, like jeeps and fully loaded, like all these ammunition that they need to go to war to go look for Tommy.
Yep.
So he's like, you know what? All right, we'll take your deal. Did she end up dying? No, huh? She didn't die. Marlene? No, she was just holding it.
Yeah, she's just like, oh, I'm bleeding out, and I really have to pee.
I know.
All right.
You'll be bleeding out of both holes. Oh God. That's what.
like at that point, especially because it was like so easy for him to be convinced to take Ellie, when like in the game he was like really gruff, and he was always arguing with Tess and stuff, and they didn't get along. and that's what made it work so much more, was that he was going against his nature and stuff. Damn, people really dissect this stuff. Like, wow, like you nitpick so much. All right, but look, like to the credit of the show, and I know, especially like without the spores and stuff,
Yes.
that a lot of it they're kind of going more toward what Druckmann had in mind. That they had to make cuts for the game. That they're like, oh well, let's re-explore this. So they're kind of going more toward it with Joel now. That like, he still has that, like, people look to him. He still has that leadership.
Yeah, the big.
There's been like a lot of opportunities presented thus far in the episode, like when he kills Grandma.
Oh yeah.
And then Tommy's just there like, what do we do? And then like, you know, when they drive past that family, keep going. Like everyone follows him, they listen to him. But it's kind of funny to me too, like that he doesn't like butt heads, and he's not like toe to toe with Tess.
Confirmation, yeah.
I mean, first of all, it looked like they smashing, right? They smashing. But like,
he's lonely, all right. Yeah.
But like, it's funny to me because like looking at El Mando, Pedro, like he doesn't look as surly. Like he kind of looks like friendly, almost, like, you know, like
that don't push him to the brink. Yeah.
I mean, like he looks like he's gone through some shit, but he doesn't look like particularly pissed off like Joel always did.
It's not like Logan type of thing, not like ultra high.
All right, bub.
Exactly. Do it my way.
Yeah, like that's like the first thing I thought of when I looked at Pedro. Was like he looks a lot friendlier than Joel does, and I don't take it one way or the other because I know he's gonna play the character as such. It's just
growing into it, right? It's going into it.
Yeah,
it's growing into that role.
Because then it makes a little more sense to me that people want to trust him, and he's a little more like leadership material because he's not just like a loner asshole, or he doesn't look as much like one.
Exactly. So he finally said, "Okay, cool." So they make it outside the walls, and that's when the same guard that is disconnect, like he spots him, like, Joel, like, what are you doing out here? It's like, shit. Like, all right, everybody on their knees, everybody put your hands by. He's like, no, we're okay. Come on, man. Like, dude, you want to go to jail? Like, you're not supposed to be out here, type of thing. So they made him go kneel down, and then he's checking them one by one. And then when it comes to Ellie the elephant, like the test didn't get revealed, it just gets dropped. So it's like the guy's like, everybody's free. So he puts the gun at Ellie, so he's getting those PTSD of not able to see Sarah, save Sarah. So he's like, Logan with the clothes out. Yeah,
he snaps. And then look, when Ellie sees that he killed the dude, like she looks and she's like, oh, cool. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Nice.
He's like, all right. Like, he did it for me.
See, so all right, like, but then right there exactly is another leadership opportunity. Like, look at Tess. Right after that, she looks and she sees the test, and she sees the bite on Ellie. And she's like, Joel, like, she doesn't know what to do, and she needs his guidance.
Exactly. Like, Joel, look. He's like, what the fuck? We gotta move. He's like, damn it. All right. So after he bludgeons that guy to death, he picks up his rifle. He's like, all right. So they make it through the fence. And that's how episode 1 ends. That was so beautiful.
Yep.
Episode number 2. Episode 2 starts with it's called title Infected. So it's funny how it shows you the progression from episode 1 to 2. So when it said breaking news in Indonesia, we go to Indonesia and we see what's it called? There's this lady, this professor, she's eating, and all these cups, these cops roll up, like, I need you to come with me. And she's like, what do you mean? Have I done anything wrong? He's like, no. Aren't you the such and such of this
mycology?
The professor, her name is Ibu Ratna.
Sure.
Yeah. So they roll her up to this secluded lab, and they're like, we need to show you something. And then she's like, what is it? So she looks at it, and then she goes, is that, how do you say
Cordyceps.
There you go. Sorry. Cordyceps cannot live in humans. And then they're like, oh, really? And then she goes, and then that's what they show her, the woman in the slab. She's like that. Of course, she dead. And then the guy behind the mirror is like, check out her lower left leg. And then we see a bite mark. And then after the bite mark, she's like, she cuts into it. She like little fibers, like, it's not crawling, right? It's like, it's just there. And then she's like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, no, it wasn't moving. But there were still ones that were moving inside of it.
Yeah.
So, but like, would the move, you think the body would like get up and move eventually?
That's what I was thinking too. But I guess they cut off the cerebral one to control the whole thing.
But I don't know. They never mentioned that. That's like a Resident Evil thing.
Yeah.
Like a regular zombie thing.
Shot him in the head.
But if you look at Cordyceps and like the popular one that everyone talks about, that like takes over an ant's brain and makes it get eaten by a cow, and then it takes over the cow's brain, etc. It needs motor function to do anything.
Oh yeah, huh? It is real. The little worm thingies. You're right.
Yeah. So I guess it couldn't do it.
Man, you're right. You see like crawling in the jungle, like it's dead, and he's like dragging the body. You're right. It should have been dragging something.
Yeah.
So yeah, so the lady's like, what is that? So she opens the girl's mouth. I thought she was gonna bite him right there. So I'm like, oh no, don't do it. She's gonna bite you. But no, she was still there. Then she gets like little forceps and she gets it out. She's like, the little fibers, right, come out of her.
Yeah.
She's like this. And then she looks at it and then freaking moves. She's like, ah! She just drops it. She runs out of there. And then she's like, so the guy's like, so we need you to help us to do a vaccine or medicine. And then she's like, listen carefully what I'm about to tell you right now. Like, there's no cure for this. There's no medicine. There's no vaccine. I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to but no, but what she was saying is like, oh, because like where's this happen? And then she's like, oh, she said she was at work, and then all of a sudden one of her coworkers bit her, and then so on, it changed. And she's like, how many coworkers are missing? And she said 15. So we're like, what the hell? There's 15 of those people out there? And she's like, yeah. And then she's like, that's where she dropped the bomb. I'm not playing. That's when she tells him, like, I'm sorry, but there's no cure. There's no medicine for this. What you have to do is start bombing every freaking city, all these people, to start doing it now. So I was just like, damn. And that's when she's like, I would like to go home and be with my family. So she ordered a bomb strike on that, on the little, that country, right?
Jakarta. Yeah, it's like more or less. But I don't think exclusively there. I think she's just like telling everybody who wants to know what to do about it, that's what you do. And that's crazy when she said that. I was in shock. But that doesn't happen in the game, right? They don't say to drop a bomb on it. You dropped a bomb on me, baby. You drop a bomb on me. Everything stays centered to the characters in the game, so you don't get to see, like, this is another narrative standpoint that, like, you get to see what else is happening. And like, especially for zombies and stuff, like, it's kind of refreshing to see a different, especially something that's so plausible.
Yeah.
And so legit.
We just saw 2020, with that.
Like, well, that was a virus that was easily crushed comparatively, but like, it's just cool to see something different, man. Like, and then you want to get more lore about it.
I like how right away they established the rules. Like, there's no cure, there's no medicine, so whatever's happening right now, you got to live with it. You got to find a way to survive without finding, because with the T virus, there is the green virus. It's not the C virus, right? For it would be too obvious cure. There's the green to reverse the effects of a zombie attack. Right here, they're telling you there's you can't go look for nothing because there's nothing.
Yeah.
You know.
But that's also like, I mean, the show, if it's anything like the game, is gonna step away from the clickers a lot, and then it's just gonna be like, oh, humans are the real enemy, which is like, I mean, yeah.
So it's gonna be more like infighting with the Fedra and the firefights, the whole fighting, the uprising,
and the fedoras,
and then the and then you get the fun, man. To get a fedora hat
first.
And then and then we're living in the world with you be careful where you step because you might be ringing a dinner bell and they're coming for you, type of thing.
Yeah.
As we see later on. So we fast forward, it goes back to the future, right? Back to the future.
Back to the future.
We see Ellie. Where we go, where you say? Where are we going? We don't need roads.
We don't need roads. Rest in peace, Rick and Morty. Sorry, not exactly the same, but go ahead.
We'll touch on that later. I was gonna talk to you about that too.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so she's in the fetal position, and then then she wakes up. She's like, "Where am I?" And then you see Joe and Tess like, pointing a gun at her because of the test, of course. Earlier,
they don't trust
you. They still don't trust her, and then she's like, "See, look, nothing has changed. I look the same." And she's like, "Why were they keeping you alive? Like, what's going on? Like, tell me." But like, they told me not to tell you. And then she's like, "Fine. Like, they told me not to tell anybody. I'm over here spilling my guts." So she tell him, "Well, like, I got bit, and I haven't changed. Everything is still 100% with me." And he's like, "How they were testing you?" And she's like, "Oh, they were telling me to count to 10 and say my name every day," type of thing. What kind of testing is that?
Kindergarten.
I thought I said take a piss on this.
Yeah, right.
So that's when she said like, "Oh, might be the cure." And then that's when Joel said like, "Oh, let me guess, you might be the one who saved the whole world and this and that." Like, how many times we heard that before, type of thing. Like, he heard like this same speech. He's like over it,
Yeah.
And then Joel's like, "I had enough of this. Just go back, and then you'll be safe." He's like, I'm not going to go through with this. But then Tess is like, "No, hear him out. Like, let's finish the mission, get the stuff that we need, and we'll be gone." So like, we came so far. Like, I don't want to go back, type of thing. So that's when they started on their little adventure, right? Going through the landscape is so awesome, dude.
Yeah.
They made it with the Unreal Engine?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. When the broken city, apocalyptic city, like the buildings are like this, and then like moss is like growing everywhere.
No, they just went to Cleveland.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's where the Bengals live, right? All the Bengal Tigers are roaming around the city.
I mean, they got Browns over there. I don't know what a brown is, but
so you have a little brown on you? Oh, sorry, I couldn't help my excitement.
They're probably also roaming the city. This guy has the right idea. He wore the brown pants.
Hey, it's Deadpool. So we're going to the game, mission 1. No, was it mission 2? Start mission. So they're asking like, pick your own adventure. So what are we doing? The long way or the short way? So the like short way is deadly way, and the long way is kind of safer.
Yeah.
So for them to do that, they have to go scope out the whole area. So they're like, where's the high ground? They're like this hotel type of thing. So yeah, so you're just walking. It's like it reminds me of like the opening of The Walking Dead. You know how they're walking towards like the dead cars and all that. You see little here and there, type of thing. So they reach what? They reach an hotel, and there's like a giant puddle and stuff. And they're like, and then she goes, "Oh, what is that? Look!" And then she rings the bell like obnoxiously, like ding ding ding. Yes, sir. Something like a little kid would do. It's like, can you take my bags up to the top floor? And that's when we see a dead skeleton. She freaks out. I freaked out too because I was hearing had my headphones on
Yeah.
and I was listening to it and like, oh shit, and it
And it's like
came out of me. Exactly.
did that little horror sound. Like oh.
The one they usually do with the high pitched thing. But yeah, so they go through it and then they go all the way up to the top floors, and then that's when Tessa's like, oh look, we have to go around because all the doors are locked. She's like, oh, let me fit through the creepy crawly the building, right? Because it collapsed.
Yeah.
So she goes out, and she's like, Ellie's like, oh, I'm small, I could go there. Like, yeah, if you die, the whole mission is over. You have to restart from respawning point. She's like, I'll do it. And then that's when just Joe and Ellie are trying to kill some time by asking questions back and forth. She's like, nice knife, and she's like, fuck off, type of thing. How come she didn't? Well, she's not trying to, I don't know, open up type of thing.
Nah. I guess, yeah, she just doesn't care about like anything. I mean, if you play the DLC, you see like what happened shortly before this. But yeah, like more or less, like she got bit and she's already had to test herself, and she's over everything.
Yeah. And then Joel's like, and then Ellie's trying to ask personal questions, and she's like, pass, hard pass. I'm not answering it. Like, all right, enough about me.
Yeah.
So that's when Tessa opens the door and they go in, and they see like it's like a museum type of thing.
Yeah, it's a cool hotel.
That's what it was. Huh? I got confused for a moment. Like, what is all this greenery? But anyway, so they walk in and she goes, Tessa, like, we have a problem. Like, what is it? So as soon as she walks, like, she pulls back the it's like curtains, not like a plastic sheet.
Yeah.
And we see, it's not what they call it. They don't call it a horde, right? They call it they haven't really mentioned what it is. Like a big group of zombies together.
It's a festival of fun guys.
I thought it was Fall Guys because they're all on the floor like that, just chilling.
True.
And it's funny how they haven't named them, right? They haven't named them yet. What they are?
Nah, she called them clickers.
Oh, okay. And then all of a sudden she's overseeing where everybody's laying and the sun is passing by them, and one gets burned, the other one goes ow, and then the other one ow, 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 ow. They're like, oh yeah, everybody thinks the same, and they're like, yeah, they're all connected to a hive mind, and the fibers could go a mile long. So if you touch something, you'll be calling them towards you, type of thing. A hive mind mentality.
Yeah.
What do you think is gonna be the main one? What do you think the headquarters of those fun guys might be?
Like, that's like another thing, and like I never played the second one, but like that was something I wanted to explore. I wanted it to be like a Gears of War type. Like you go and see how their network operates and stuff. Like the whole theme of mushroom zombies and fungus is so interesting, and like they could do like some crazy ass mutations and like cover some Worcestershire on there, and they're all delicious and terrifying. Oh man, like so many possibilities. Yeah, and they just like shied completely away from anything beyond that.
You just gotta purify them. That's funny. So yeah, so eventually they decided like the long way is out of the question now, so they have to go the short way, which is finding out what the hell happened with the contact. Have they reached them yet? No. Yeah, right. Not yet.
They're like in the next room.
Oh yeah, so they go down to the bank, and they're walking, and they're like, then they see the whole door is covered with fungi, the fungus and everything is like crap. Like if we touch this, like we touch this, then they might come. So Joel was like, all right, hold on, give me a second. He's like, it's dry. Come on, let's go in. So they're going inside the museum. They're busting one of the missions, right? That you have to stay really, really, really quiet.
It's like the whole game. What do you mean?
So they go in. They have like flashlights, and then everybody's like, they hear the little rumbling upstairs. Like, I thought the liquor's gonna come out or something.
Yeah. Wish.
So they're saying that because they find a dead body, it's like, who did this? You know, like a dog, a scratcher never did that. It's like, oh, he probably got scratched and went inside. And then so they're running. Of course, we see more of what's it called, the fungi all over the museum.
Yeah, the dude's like against the wall.
And then Ellie, of course, has to step on a hand that makes the loudest sound. Because the hand is still connected to the fungi? The fungi.
Yes.
So they go in, they go upstairs. And who do they encounter? There you go. We hear the clickers. So before that, I apologize. So before that, they go in, and of course they do a cinematic scene where the ceiling collapses outside the door, so they can go back out. So they're forced in that little corridor.
Quick time event.
There you go. So you have to put XXXXXXX. You are saved.
So,
good job.
That's how Kratos' son was born. Dad?
Quick time event.
Quick time events.
And then,
moving on, boy.
Then we see a clicker peeking their head around the corner. Do it. So they're trying to be quiet. Oh no! There he is. So they're like. So Joel tells them like they only could hear, but they can't see. So be quiet. So he's like, shh, quiet. They don't even say anything. So they're like they're like crawling, like passing by them, and they're like
faces at him.
Like shit behind the window. You get that around the scene, you know, the clicker. We're immersive. So can you imagine that? You have to be quiet and the thing just jumps on you. You have to be.
Sounds like a dolphin.
So bottlenose dolphin is in there with 2 legs. Can you imagine that? So
That's
of course,
terrifying.
So of course, Ellie the elephant makes a noise and attracts all the clickers are running, stumbling. You know, he falls down. Ellie and Tess is running the opposite way. Joel's taking them to the other side. They only thought it was 1, but actually it was like 4, 3, 2, 1. Go! There's 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then one was busting the move, like, you know, they're clicking everywhere. And all of a sudden everybody starts quiet again. And then the clickers are trying to see them, trying to find them, trying to sniff them out. And then that's where I got more into it because again, like everything gets enhanced when you're wearing headphones.
Yeah.
And then you see him like Joel like trying to reload his gun quietly, like, but it's like all zoomed in. But then the camera turns a little and it's like right there, and I scared my. it's like in the like right there. He turns it around. The camera's like, dude. He turns his face, is like face to face with. I'm like, oh my god. So he goes quickly, turns around like this.
Yeah.
He's like, nope, you did not see me. He turns around. Dude, can you imagine come face to face? What do you think, dude? Like, oh my god, that intensity you might feel at that moment. Oh, that adrenaline just rush, like, you did not see me. So he turns around, he sees Ellie, and he's like, I'll get you. Come on, this way. He's like, be quiet, please, not again. So So they're doing the game crawl. You know how you do it quietly. You know the game crawl that they usually do.
Yeah. It's
And then
funny that they call it echolocation, but like echolocation, it doesn't matter if you make a noise or not.
it
Like,
should bounce back, right?
yeah, you could be perfectly quiet. It does not matter.
It
I
should.
mean,
You
they'll be
still.
able to if you move a little bit, it'll bounce out. It's a movement in general.
But I was saying like echolocation will find mass on something, right? You can
Yeah,
still.
but it doesn't. If the mass is perfectly still, they won't know. But like if you're moving like that, they'll be like, "Bitch, you're moving. I see. It's obvious." Like,
Uh, so yeah, so of course, Joel steps on glass, and the clicker's like, "There you are, got you, you're it." So he jumps on him. He's like, "Oh crap!" So start unloading the clips on him. Of course, attracts more of them. So they're running more, and then he's trying to reload, and then of course, Tessa comes out of nowhere and just smacks the other one with something like a hammer, and then he finished him off with the rifle. He's like, he goes, "Is that everybody?" He's like, "Are you okay?" He's like, "Yeah, I just twisted my ankle. I thought it was like a rock man. Twisted ankle."
yeah,
So after that, she's like, "Everybody okay?" She's like, "Let's check your wounds." So of course, Ellie got, what was it? She got scratched or bit again.
they said it was a bite.
So she's like,
She's like, "Ah, shit."
again, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
That's funny. So they make her. So they go outside trying to cross the path with this little wooden. It was like a wooden. What's it called? Like a plank, right? Walk the plank.
Yeah.
And then So yeah, so they're trying to heal their wounds and check out their. I guess it's like what's it called? You go in the corner, you put like the med kit, you heal yourself.
Yeah.
You get the green leaves, like. And then Joe's like, "Hey, we have to go that way." It's like, "Yeah." And then she goes, Ellie's like, "Oh, I know you have to be scared." Like, I'm not scared. She just walks like whatever. I'll be like,
Yeah.
you look down like, "Oh fuck," you have to be crawling. Yeah. So it's fun, and then of course, what's it called? Tessa's putting duct tape around her ankle, trying to heal herself. Like you see the action, What's it? You have to push R1 and triangle, just,
Yeah.
and then you go,
Yeah. Right.
good job, and he goes to get a little star for completing that task. So yeah, Joe's like, Tessa's like, "Come on, just go be with that girl, protect her. Like, can you understand? Like, this might be it, the real thing, type of thing." And then Tessa's having that come to Jesus moment, saying, "You know what? If we help her, like, I could put all the wrongs that I did, I could finally put them at ease," type of thing, right? It's
Yeah.
trying to
More.
seek more redemption type of thing. So yeah, so they cross, and then of course everybody is admiring the Unreal Engine cinematography.
Yeah.
She's like, "You cannot deny this view." When I looked at the views, it's pretty cool. And then Tessa's like, "All right, come on, let's go." And then she's like, "Dude, we're trying to enjoy this view, dude. What are you? What's wrong what's with the rush?" So she goes down like a broken down escalator. I thought that's where the episode would end, because he's looking all like Superman or heroic, and then the
Yeah.
scenery, and it pans out. I was like, "Oh, that's it. That's how it ends."
That would have been nice.
That would like a nice ending right there.
Hmm.
But no. So we're continuing to the checkpoint where you have to reach the Firefly. What's it? Van truck where the soldier's supposed to be. The
Yeah.
checkpoint, and she's telling him like, "Where is it? Like, it's right here." So Joe tells everybody, "All right, step behind. Let me check the scenery out." It's like it gives me like the Walking Dead like type of thing. It's shrubbery everywhere. Like, it's crazy how grass will grow on anything if you
It's
don't
true.
maintain it, like vines and stuff, and on top of cars. Excuse me.
Yeah.
So they're walking, right, and then they get to this. It looks like what is those? The shipment containers, the little gray. It's like a metal.
Yeah. Shipping container.
and and then he got inoculated. So he goes like, all right, they're right there, and then he's like, all right, we're gonna pass you to like Ellie, you're gonna go with them, and then the deal is done, and we'll go on our way, right? So Joe's like, something's not right. So he's approaching him. What do he get? What's the surprise he sees? Dun dun dun. There's nobody in there. He's like,
Easy.
what? He opens the back and nothing's in there. He's like, what the fuck's going on here? He turns around and then you see like trail of dead bodies. Like, oh crap! Like all the Firefly people are dead. They're down all around. And then he's like, and then Tessa's like, no, this can't be. There's got to be someone. So he drags Ellie, and she drags her inside the house where they're supposed to be. And then the hitman is getting infected right now. Oh no! Put some shrooms on him.
Yeah.
So of course he walks in, and then more gunfight. They're all fucking dead. And then she tells him, "Be careful. Like there's got to be someone here." And then she's like, "I don't know. They can't find no one. They're looking for a radio. Like where are we supposed to go?" And then she like, what's it? She's like, they're trying to connect their bounty, and then no one is there. And then one of them gets up. So when he does that, he shoots him in the head. But then he accidentally sends a text because you see the hive mind connects to his hand. He's like, "Oh, there you are. There you are, my son."
Yep. They're learning.
And then that's where we get the bun rush. Well, I mean, before that, it gets revealed like Ellie goes, "Oh shit!" It's like, "What happened?" Like, she's infected, and she's like, "What do you mean?" And then she shows the wound, like Tessa gets bit. She's like, "What the hell?" And then Tessa tells Ellie, "Let me show you. Let me see your wound." And then she takes it, and like nothing happens. And then that's when she's like, "This could be a real chance. I need you to take him to Bill and Frank. You don't know what to do. They'll handle it for you. I need you to take him with you." He's like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, we have to continue the mission. Like she is the real deal, man. There's nothing fake here." And then she's crying. I was crying because, like watch all the zombie, like either choose to the head herself or you can amputate the neck. So
Yeah.
you got to cut the part out. Hold on. There you go. You're good.
Yeah. We don't even know if that would work anyway.
I know, right? There's no established rules on this one. And all of a sudden, we pan outside, and then you hear the clickers get up and start molly-whopping. Do the clicker.
That's like an equally sad. This is sad as Sarah, man. Like,
they're coming. So he opens the door. He's like, how many?
down.
He's like, all of them are coming. He's like, oh crap.
yeah.
He's like, how much time we got? A minute or less, or is free? And then you see Tessa just all of a sudden start hitting the gas. Is it drums, spilling them over? He's like, what are you doing? Like, I'm actually sure like they don't follow you. It's like, what do you mean? Like, I'm not leaving you. You have to stay here. Like, we're gonna defend it with you. She's like, are you stupid or something? So she's throwing like grenades and like a big ass puddle of gasoline. I'm like, I was thinking like, dude, you're leaving a trail behind. Everything you step on, if you try to lie, he's gonna go follow you. He's gonna follow him outside, type of thing. And then Tessa tells Joel like, save who you can, and that's it. And that's like triggers him. He picks her up by the arm, starts dragging her out. She's like, no, I'm not leaving her. What are you doing, you asshole? Type of thing. And then that's where I was gonna say Sarah. That's where Tessa like she comes to realization. Okay, I gotta do this. She pops out this pocket lighter, and all of a sudden this infected start coming in, and she's trying to light it. It's like at this time I'm like. She's letting like 10 of them pass, 11 pass, 20 pass. I'm like, dude, do something, or and then one of them stops and looks at Tessa, and then she's like, come here, baby, let's make out. She's like, what? The little funky music starts kicking in, and she goes, come here, baby. Like, the little virus comes out. Oh my god, it was like she like threw up on his mouth, and she like opened wide.
Yeah, man, that's the kiss from Chainsaw Man.
Oh, God. Oh, my.
Oof, if you know, you know.
So she kisses him. Oh, and then the spurs are going into her, and then she finally was able to light it, and then she drops it, and then kaboom! The lower half of the museum blows up, and Ellie's like, "No, Tessa!"
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Like they said that that's what what the clickers do, because when you're not resisting, that's more human nature is to want to like kiss, not to bite somebody. I was like, I don't know. Like, thank God the opposite is not true though. Like where you're trying desperately to get away, and all they want to do is kiss
Just
you.
make out with you, like, come
Just,
here, baby. No,
yeah,
I don't want to kiss.
like just fucking bite me. Stop.
It's like, come.
Ah, like really, it's like that one. I don't
That's
know
another
that
way to affect people.
that disgustingness paired with the whole like sexual assailant zombie is much more terrifying.
I'm the violator. So after that, it's Joel keeps moving on, and Ellie's just standing there, and then face to black, and that was our episode too. But now that you said it that way, like that's the only way to infect people is to make out. It's like, come here, baby. let me get a hold of you.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, yeah, guys, that was a review of episode 1 and 2 of The Last of Us. We're enjoying it, as you could see. Like it's cool, you know. I like the slow progression of Joel actually becoming a father, not a father figure. It's like a protector type of thing, like a guardian.
Yeah, you can tell that he's gonna stick with Grogu no matter what.
Yeah, he has the force in her own way, type of thing. I feel the force in me. So I'm saying, okay, what happens when you get it to the, you get her there, right? What are they gonna do? They're gonna milk the crap out of her. You're gonna cook her up to machines and keep her like that, bleeding her out constantly.
I mean, you played the game, right? All right, but
I don't. It's been a while.
you know what trips me out? This is
Yeah.
I forget the name of the paradox or whatever, but maybe there isn't even one. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like, all right, that whole thing is kind of a twist on that scenario too. Is like, all right, it's the end of the world,
Yes.
or like the apocalypse has happened or whatever. You're the last man left. It's all women or whatever. Like you have to survive in that world. What do you do? And like 99% of dudes are like, yeah, okay, I'm here. Like, right? But like,
Giggity.
but like you flip the script and it's like you ask a girl that and it's like, okay, you're the last female.
Oh my god.
They would just kill themselves. Like, 90% of them would kill themselves. And like,
It'll be a constant. Oh my goodness.
yeah, it's just not. And okay, so like that principle, except like the difference is like, oh, your blood is it has to be constantly like pasteurized,
Yeah.
or constantly used. And yeah, like there are ways to do that to keep people alive and stuff, and just like it's not pleasant. Even if that, like, what if it's like, I don't know, one drop is all it took to cure everybody or some nonsense, which it would not be the case.
Of course. Imagine
Like,
the whole world. You gotta drain the whole cow.
But I think the whole idea, even though it's kind of like a Schrodinger's thing, is that like the cure was never going to really happen because there never was a cure, and there never would be. She's just immune.
Yes.
And they would never be able to figure it out.
Doesn't mean I'll transfer. Yeah, you're right. Or
so she would just be tortured.
To harvest it. Yeah, exactly. To harvest that from her and then get the gnome that they need to create a protein that will create a cure type of thing. Look at us talking like scientists. Let me put on my lab coat.
But
you know,
I don't think there'd be like a.
So what are you saying is like
it's like a hormonal repellent or something, and it's like, I don't know, like
It's an extra genome from the parent, probably. That is.
Well,
Don't tell me. Hey, hit the jingle already. You're a mutant.
yeah, that might be it.
You're a mutated. You're a mutant. No. You're a mutant, Miss Ellie.
So yeah, it's like I don't know. Whatever explanation they could come up with is like it's almost as pointless as like how exactly did everything begin. It's like you don't really need to know.
Yeah.
You just
I
need
guess
to know
there's
whether everyone thinks it's worth it or not.
I feel like the end point is to get her there, but I feel like Fedra or whoever it is gonna go over there and demolish them before they even have a chance to get her hands on her, type of thing.
Probably.
Right? I don't know. That'll be cool though. Get there and it's like we're finally there, and all of a sudden a bomb just hits. Like you rip rage, you idiots! We had the cure right here. We had it already.
They're like, sir, the city's growing with drones.
What happened to all the drones? Oh, wait.
Leave Cleveland alone.
All the Bengals, Tigers roaming around in Cincinnati, man. You gotta be careful. Oh, goodness.
There's quite a few cougars in that town, too.
Whoa. All right, guys. I'm gonna put a lid on this apocalypse. For the Hitman, I am the Clicker Zombie. This is and has been the Hitman and the Zombie Show. I'll be back Saturday night for the Royal Rumble recap show if Hitman wants to join me, but we'll see. Till next time, much love. We'll come back with episode 3 next week and much more projects. Stay tuned to the channel. Make sure you subscribe and like. I'm going to tell you, ring the little bell because it gets annoying. With that being said, much love, peace. I'm going to leave you with this song and we out of here, guys. Till next time. Bye-bye.
Adios.
Try and sometimes you'll succeed.